those exam papers from last time on the table right now.
Hey, Mommy, I think I did not come with my paper.
Excuse me?
Yes, you are excused.
On your feet.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. I forgotten my exam, but I did the exam.
But teacher, you did not tell us to bring the papers today.
Are you kidding me?
No, I am not kidding you. The fact is that you told us that it is a takeaway exam after that phone call you got. Just that.
And did you just do the exam or not?
Actually, I did not. As you can see, I went instead because I was attending a wedding last Saturday.
So did any of you bring the exam paper? Or are you busy attending, weddings and whatnot? Susia, Atito, Farah, Solomon.
To 5%. Okay, which is good also. But now the consequences that the question that a normal person, why are they doing it so to 17? Now they've just come down again to. So it's like they're they're just like. Because you remember, I asked myself a question. Like for example, we have iron ore in Bere. Why are we still struggling to import when we have the key component in Bere? We have the clinker here is in Baringo. We have the clinker here in Kajiado. We have the clinker here in Ukambani. The main component of making cement. But still, the cement and iron, still they are very high. So it means that they don't understand all this. Another one, affordable housing, the rollback of tax incentive. So they removed, I was in Morocco. Housing thing is not the first thing that Kenya is doing. When I went to Morocco.
My goodness. Teacher, you haven't.
Round this sun a few times, and I can tell the difference between what is genuine and what is not.
It seems like your short call is not genuine. And don't ask me how a genuine one looks like. I wasn't going to ask that.
Yes. Just keep talking, eh? You've got 25 minutes now. And I must insist, no cheating, okay?
But Mom, these questions are not like the one you gave us last time.
I know that. That's my new style, eh? 23 minutes.
What kind of a man am I? How can I repeat course and still not be able to avail such cheap answers?
When I went to Morocco, what they do, Morocco is one of the best countries that has done so well in terms of affordable housing. And one thing they have done is that they introduced the new homes. Like for example, we can talk of Kibera here. They will say they take the data of all people who are staying here in Kibera. They identify the land maybe in Kajiado. As the government, they build the social amenities. We can talk of the school, hospital, the road networks, and whatever, water and everything. Then they look for an investor. And they do the private government partnership, whereby now he has been given. So there's what we call the corporate tax and VAT. So this person does not allowed to be, that does not pay the...
Is exempted of something.
Is exempted for corporate tax and from the VAT. So you find like now those houses, a unit goes at around 400,000. So, and the government is just there as a guarantor. now they give you the key, you start paying the house, you start paying that money to the investor. So you find like at the end of the day that you build a certain number of units, then you enjoy all those benefits. But now in Kenya, it's surrounded with a lot of, there's no transparency in it. So initially, they had about this thing of affordable housing. So you see now, from the word affordable, it means that it should be affordable. From the word of construction,
the word itself.
Yeah, the way you construct, like the cement should be low, everything, there should be some benefit, so that at the end of the day, when you build it cheaply, you also sell it at a gooder price or lower prices. But now you look at what they have done is that they were enjoying the removal of VAT incentives. There was some VAT that they were enjoying, and also like the tax, corporate tax, they have also removed from the affordable housing. They were enjoying like paying 15%, but they have removed that 15%. Now they're going to pay it at 30% and all that. So it's like they don't understand what exactly they really meant for. So those are some of the key things. You realize that they don't. There's what also another thing that was in they call the minimum, the marginal economic significance, that was talking about the digital, any company that is established in this country, that there is a certain percentage you have to, they call the minimum, the marginal economic significance, that was talking about the digital, any company that is established in this country, that there is a certain percentage you have to.
Okay. All right. So Mheshimiwa has given us some of the parts, some of the components of the finance bill that has already been signed into law, has been passed, has been approved, and stamped and signaturized by the president. And those are some of the parts that he feels alikuwa naona shida kidogo.
Maybe the last one, that maybe there is the removal of taxation on gratuity and pension income. Okay. They are the ones who introduced the taxation on that. You see, they are the ones who introduced it, right? Then again, now they have removed. So it means that they are not consistent. They don't know. They are confused. Yeah, that's what I can say. Yeah.
So watu kwa comments wanasema huyu si Salaysia tulikuwa tunangoja. Pamela, leta maji. Wanasema Salaysia has been so serious today. This thing is very Baka is speaking pure English. Nini wanasema we hakuna punctuation. But it's very good. It's good to know that when it gets to serious matters, Mheshimiwa, you also get serious about it. So Pamela, kuja kwanza before tuendelee na this serious conversation, ulishimiwa chenye atataka kunywea. Yes, this Pamela.
Maji tu.
Unataka kumwambia kitu?
Haya. Warm water.
I'm Pamela.
Yeah.
I'm the hostess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so what can I do for you?
Give me warm water.
Warm?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sparkling water.
No, I don't like sparkling water.
For me?
Okay, for you, not for me.
For me, sparkling water. Room temperature as well. Yeah. Okay. So, the finance bill imefanyiwa hivyo, imeshapitishwa. However, there are some components that are good in it. Have you seen anything that is good in it?
Yeah, definitely, because of that's why I've highlighted some of the things. But we will realize like they're the ones who brought them. Now after they have found like it's not working, and that's why we are saying that the key opposition in this country, the young people of this nation. Yeah, and I want to say that the young people of this nation, they are the future of this nation, and they should not be allowed to be confused at any given point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it okay to say that our MPs are useless because what we've mandated them to do, they are not able to do? For example, protecting us against this finance bill, our members of parliament could not do it because you've said ilipitishwa kama wengi wao hawajui.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
So is it okay to say now our MPs are useless because they are not doing what you expect?
What I can really say is that the formulation of the law, how the political parties act. And I think one of the things that the reforms that we really need to have going forward is that we should not allow the political parties to have a way in any affairs of the parliament. Because number one, we are the people who have suffered under this broad-based government thing. And maybe some, they don't want to suffer the same way, because when we went against the will of the broad-based and the main farm, we were removed in our key committees that we were, like I was in the Committee of Agriculture. I was removed from the Committee of Agriculture.
You went against the Nini?
Yeah, and taken to broadcasting, sijui ingine sijui ya chakula. So you see, there's totally nothing that you can discuss there, because now food, what are you going to discuss there? So, but now, and that's why you see, because of you're going against the political, and that's why you find like most of the members of the parliament, they are really there, but some maybe they are in the committee of roads, they're in the committee of budget, they don't want to be. So one of the things that once I become the president of the Republic of Kenya that I have to do is to bring the independent in the House, in the National Assembly. And one way is that we must have an amendment whereby we are saying that political parties stops at the time when at the time of election ends, so that members can elect themselves and also provide oversight. Look even at the courts; they are not independent. So what is really making when I become the president, one of the things, if I really want to enjoy the position, make these organs to be independent, make Parliament to do its work, make the court to do its work, make the judiciary and even the executive to do their work independently. And the only thing that now is for me to work on is just the corruption, to fight the corruption and make sure that the systems are working. Then I myself will be able to enjoy even the leadership. We don't have to struggle so much in managing the country.
So basically right now, all of these arms of the government are not independent.
They're not independent. They are not independent at all. They are not independent at all.
So they are as good as useless. They are good as not being there. They are ceremonial.
They are ceremonial because now, what are you going to do? Like, for example, let me ask, even when you have, like, for example, a private bill, whatever, it's hard to make things, and that's why we really need young people in the parliament. We need young people so that we can have a voice. People who can have a voice and push the agenda. Because now they are ranking members. You are there, ranking members. You know.
What's a ranking member?
Yeah, that those who have been there. But now there's no difference whether you are ranking or not. There's no difference. In fact, it's not good to say what I could have said right now, but right now I'm presidential. I want to speak presidential right now. Yeah. Yes.
Wow, okay, that is something. Apart from you guys being paid off to pass a couple of bills, yeah? Do you guys get threatened sometimes? Members of parliament?
No, that's why I've said that the threats are there to be removed from the committees. And that's why I always tell members in our committee, why do you have to bother about the committee? So you will be removed, Kwani. So you are removed, so you are there. We are pushing.
Okay, and if you are removed from the committee, do you die?
No, you don't die. So that is
the issue. That's where you guys make money from, eh?
I don't know now. You see now, kila mtu ako huko, unajua sasa, you are the one. There are a lot of issues there when you are in the committees. You see now, it depends on the number of the departments that are reporting to you. The more the responsibility, the more you feel like you are a big boss. You see? Now you see when you are, like, for example, in the members' facility, you are just there to look at food, just there. But you see when you are in the agriculture, after they are reporting to you, you are looking at. So that is what the members, they fear. And that's the only thing. If we remove the political parties from having a say in arrangement of committees, then the parliament will be very independent, will be very more vibrant. Because there is totally nothing that the president will. You see, like right now, other people will tell me, removing like for example, the CDF and all that. But the more important, even when I become the president, I will support the CDF thing because that is the only thing, money that goes to the mashinani, that touches on schools, on functions that remains at the national government. So you find like, because when you are a member of parliament, like for example, today, when you are not in the there are those things like maybe the roads or the schools, you have to go and bend before the executive for them to come and do the work from.
Really?
That is what is happening. There are, there are a lot of things. So for us to make the parliament to be independent, first of all, we must make sure that their constituencies, they are getting the resources. Like we entrench the CDF, they are getting the resources there. We are making sure that the roads, these roads, that every constituency has the roads, that has the fund to make sure that the constituency is getting the roads. So that when you are there to bring oversight to the government, to the executive, you are able, because there's nothing you're going to bend before them and tell them that, because at the end of the day, your people will have the roads maintenance, people will have the schools, you'll have the toilets, and that is what we really want.
Let me see if I understand this correctly. So there's a couple of committees in Parliament that handle different things.
Yes.
And for you to be in these committees, it's a status thing. It makes you feel more important.
Yeah, sure.
And there's also some liquidity in it.
And now I don't want to say about the liquidity thing. But anyway, let us divert. We might come back to that.
I'm continuing. I've not finished the question.
Okay.
I've not finished the question. Okay, so there's some money to be made. Let's just leave it there. And then, so my member of parliament has to go beg these committees to give them money or to approve some money for the constituency. Is that what you're saying?
Let me just give you a good example. When you are in a committee, right?
Yeah.
So you like, for example, water.
Okay.
So you are meeting with the people of water, right? Like Victoria Basins, what, all those that are reporting to you. So you are able to push the projects maybe in your... So that is, if you are in the electricity, for example, energy.
So you are not in the electricity committee, so stima itakuja kwako.
That's why we must say that when we want this country to move forward, we say there are things like that are in the national government. Like, for example, the functions, we say every constituency has to get this amount of money for the roads. Every constituency has to get the CDF of this amount. Every constituency, and it should be in the law, that for any functions that are with the national government. So that now you don't have to go and beg the national government that I want this. So you are able to provide serious oversight for them. And that is why now you find like, because now you have been promised that they are bringing water in your constituency, they are bringing what in your constituency, now you don't have to bend, you have to bend. And that is one thing that we must stop. At all.
Are you pro-equality or equity in funds
I'm
distribution?
pro-equality, and that is why I'm pro-equality.
So
and
every constituency should be given the same amount?
Yes, and that's why we must say that CDF, because for all 292, and this is the only money that goes directly to the constituency level, it's being felt by the people down there. And that's why we say that is equality and equity. But now you see, when you remove such kind of kitty like CDF, you remove the road. It means now when you are in the opposition like the way I am, you have to go back. You'll be forced to go back to the executive and ask them and bend before them. So, and that is what whenever I must make sure that every and in fact, like the county governments also, and also this one also affects the county governments. And we must also come up with the legislation, like, for example, every ward, every sub-county has to be entitled, if it's a certain amount for this amount, maybe for water, for those devolved function, it has to be go directly. Or else, if you go against the will of the governor, you will not bring, maybe if you are the MP or you are the or your MCA, you go against him. He will divert the resources to other areas that they listen to him. And that is also some of the things that going forward we have to work on. Maybe we go to the, because these are the, now I'm presidential, I should not be discussing this right now. I should be discussing how I need to transform this country. Anyway, let's proceed.
CDF, HELB. Senator, I think it was Karangu Wathangwa who spoke about the government. Why is the government giving us money to pay the government? And I've heard you speak about it now. You're like, oh, CDF should still be given and everything. So are you pro? The government keeps giving people CDF for people to pay back to the government and even help. Ama the government just puts the money in the system and makes education free.
Let me tell you, people like them, they they speak, but they don't have the facts.
Okay.
Like, remember the history of Kenya, where Kenya has moved from. Education was there. But you remember that there was a time when people used to go for Arambes. They used to go for Arambes to build a toilet. They used to go Arambe to build classroom. They used to go for Arambe to buy the buses. Is that what now someone is thinking about? That is now the important. The CDF thing has made it so easy. Like, a school can be bought, a bus can be, school classes can be constructed. Because when we remove, it means that this function, if you want, you have to get back to Nairobi to go and request them to buy for this thing. Now look at the education. You know, you cannot talk about scrapping all those things if the government has not yet done what they're supposed to be doing. Look at a good example. Look, the implementation process of NHIF from NHIF to SHA. When they came up with the SHA, they went very fast to do away with NHIF and then bring something that was not working up to today and has no significant impact on common mwananchi, still believes that NHIF was the best remedy for the healthcare system as compared to the SHA. So if they're saying that, for example, you want these things to be scrapped like HELP so that they can be, why can't we bring and implement fast? Then before we remove all these things, we say we are starting, like, for example, maybe there is the transition process. I think one thing that the Kenya Kwanza has not learned is about the transition process, which is very critical in any given way.
Umenizungusha patiko sawa. Wacha sasa tukuje sasa huku kwingine sasa. Sasa tumemalizana na finance bill. Tumalizana na hiyo. Tutakuwa tunalima government hapa na pale tukiendelea kidogo kidogo. For example, your take on police brutality?
Yeah.
What take on police brutality?
Number one, first of all, I want to condemn the police brutality in the strongest term possible. Because I said it before, like, human beings are like animals. And the way you treat them is the same way they will respond back to you. And we have lost so many lives through the police brutality. You remember the generation that we are dealing today with is the generation that is different from the previous generation that have been there. These are the young people that have been brought up when Kiboko was removed from the system. You have to sit with them on the table and discuss issues. What do you want to achieve by doing ABCD? And that is how they have been brought up, because we are talking about Kibaki removed you remember that type? So there are times that now you cannot use extra force to force things to happen. So they're like the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes, you cannot use force and handle. If they fall on your scrotum, you cannot use force to remove them, or else you will suffer. Now what I'm trying to say is that we have to tell the police they have to go into the refresher course and learn how to handle people on demonstration. I'm going to say this, like this area called Rongai. Police of Rongai want to call you on board. Why is it that every mandamano there must be killings in Rongai? Why? Even yesterday I was there. A young boy of 17 years old. He comes from my constituency. Was killed, was shot by the police. I was there from a very humble family background. You ask yourself, why is it that there must be shooting left, right? That one cannot continue to happen. And when it's happening like this, I wonder when we have women, like in the Bible, when Rael heard about when the children of Israel were being killed, then the voice of Rael was crying in the wilderness, crying, why are you killing my children, my sons and whatever? But the women of this country, those whom we call the women reps, whom they are supposed to guard the children of this land and say, we the women of this land, we are not going to accept. Now the way for them is just to go and to wait and wapatiane padi ya shilingi 10. And they are supposed to be there and crying. Wengine wanakuwa pale wanasema ati walikuwa naye, sijui walikuwa na polisi huyo mkubwa, sijui anafanya nini. So I believe we have a role to protect this country. Okay. We have a role to protect this country, And we want to say next time, like for example, the young people, they will say now today we are not going to the roads. We are going to occupy the leaders' homes. Where are we going to run for as a nation? So they have said that we don't go to the police station, they will shoot us. We are not going to go and occupy the homes of maybe the leaders they are out. So we want to say that the police must stop using extra force. We have the Ministry of the Youth. What is it that the Ministry of the Youth, the National Youth Council that is being taxed by the Kenyans are being taxed by the CEO? What are you doing in terms of the youth addressing the issues of youth being shot, being harassed, and their issues not being addressed by a Ministry of Youth and all that? So it means that there is a lot that needs to be done, and that's why I say that we want to condemn and we are saying that when you touch the life of a young person, when you touch, you think that you are solving the problem, but you are creating more problems. So the police, it's high time that now you have to listen to the voice of the Kenyans. That is not going to be as usual as you might think. Yeah.
Do you think the problem is the police or is their leadership? Because did you hear what the CS Murkomen said?
The problem is all the way from the leadership. Because every time these things happens, they protect the police. Yes, as a police you must practice because you are trained on how to restrain yourself, to handle your anger management, to handle the people. You are a professional in all those stuff. You have to use all the professional tactics and make sure that you are. Why is it that the Kenya Army, the police, when the army were moving, I saw the video. Instead of them booing them or shouting at them, they were removing stones and greeting them, celebrating with them. The highest order, the highest honor they received is because the police failed to gain that respect from these other people. And if they would just we make stories. I saw something, they said that they have to give placards, they have to do what? Look, there's this issue of the supermarket that were being looted here, OTC. Ask yourself a question, OTC here. From OTC to this Mudhurwa police station, it's just like here. From OTC to Kamkunji, 100 meters. But they were looting the whole place. But you find there was no police. But the watu wa maandamano were on Kibera, that's the other street, Kimathi Street on the other side. But the looters, they're on this side, doing their work, but no police is doing all that. The other one we experienced, we saw they are carrying Fimbo and all that. They say that we are. So you find like this is a total confusion, and we need leadership in this country.
If you are standing with the Gen Zs against police brutality, why weren't you at the Mandamano?
Number one, let me tell you one thing. When it comes to leader, now for example, Amita, wewe umeona katika nchi ambazo zimeenda kiongozi wao wanamlinda kiongozi yao. Sijui kama unapata, yani, you don't expose your leader. First of all, you don't expose it. I'm the future of these people. So if you expect me to go, no, you see now, Babu is looking for Nairobi here. Maybe I'm presidential, right? I'm presidential. Remember, I'm president. So you don't expect the president to also do the Mandamano. No, you are there looking and studying and watching on what is happening there and there, so that you can.
Maraga was there.
No, Maraga.
Senator for Busia.
Maraga is also we have the activists and we have the leaders. Now I'm a leader, presidential. You don't expect a president to go and also to be on the street at the same time.
Tata is presidential.
No, you see, I don't want to undermine anyone, but you see, I'm not an activist. You see, I understand me from where I stand. You remember when I was still in that level. You see the Sifuria Mandamano. I could even go with my Kinyasa there and do the Sifuria. But now you see, right now we are looking at how I'm presidential right now. Remember, I'm presidential. Remember that one also.
Once I'm talking about presidential, nasema we ni project ya Ruto. Yeah.
Now let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing.
Kewa mkate ndio confuse makura za watu.
I think it is obvious, it's normal in politics for anyone to give you a brand that this is a project. But for Peter Salaysia, I cannot be a project of anyone, number one. Remember, I'm a self-made leader. Whether a self-made or born leader, whichever the way.
Yeah.
Because you remember, if you are a member of parliament, I'm a member of parliament, right? How can I, if I don't have the passion for the people, can I risk, like, for example, my seat there? Is there, right? Is there my seat, right? Of member of parliament, right?
Yeah.
And which I'm sure because of the work that I've done for the last 2 years. The work that I've done there for the last, and in every poll, I'm always at the top, right? How can I go and be misused by somebody? For what? I've never been bought at any given point. In all situations, I've always stood with. But I always ask myself a question. Who is this person? One person that I believe in that will save the young people of this nation. And this is what has been really disturbing my mind. Every moment I wake up in the morning and I look at where I come from. And I say I'm a young person who understands where I've come from. Who knows kulala njaa ni nini? Who knows kazi ya mjengo ni nini? Who knows every kind, because I have grown from, you know. So I ask myself a question, who will save this nation? And this is why, because I've asked so many questions on this youth thing, and I've realized that maybe it's only me, Peter Salaysia, who have got the interest and passion for the people. And remember, leadership is one principle. And this is one thing that people fail. First of all, you must, as a leader, you must ask yourself, what makes you happy in your leadership? One thing, and this is the secret behind my leadership, with my 3 years or 2 years, that being the leadership.
Okay.
When I feel people celebrating me that I'm doing work for them, and I feel I've achieved ABCD, that is what makes me more happy than anything else. And that is where most of the leaders, they fail from understanding this concept. That is not about we, the leaders. It should be about the people. And that's why you see, like, when I go to a school, I find children celebrating me, saying, Mheshimiwa, tujengee choo kama ile ulijengea wale, tujengee shule kama venye ulifanyia wale. It makes me so happy and so proud of. And that is what the Kenyan leaders have failed to understand. It becomes now when they get, it's the time for them to amass wealth. And that is why now they come out of the mentality of serving the people and change the mentality. You remember the story of I don't know, was it the soul of the spirit of saying I'm not an athlete person, whereby now you want to achieve more athlete things, and then you become like, that is where we have gone wrong. And I think that the question that we have asked myself, like, the leaders who are moving all around, we have been with them. And I want to refrain myself, I don't want to attack the united opposition or attack anyone. It's about me, Peter Salaysia. And that is what I stand for. I respect every boss, every person, because one has dream dreams to achieve life. But now for myself, I'm looking at, from we came with this issue of free primary education. And many people, when Kibaki left this from 2015, many young people started going to the university, because after the parallel, there was a time when self-sponsored were not being sponsored by health. But in 2011, 2012, they brought the parallel students started being supported by the health. So many graduations every 22 from 2015. to 2025, approximately every year, those who graduate from the university with degrees and graduates, there are about 50,000. For those who are graduating from the diploma certificates, they are about between a range of 200,000 to 300,000. From that time up to now, you find like we have a population of about 2.3 or 2.6 million of young people. Some they are there up to about 1 million maybe who have gotten the job. Others they are still there struggling and all that. But now we ask ourselves, who is going to employ these young people? And that's why you find like that this problem of young people, of how are we going to solve? Because even if when we bring a person who doesn't have the vision, we bring to be in this public, we are going back to the streets. We are not going to resolve this issue. We must have a leader who has the vision and who has that push. That is what we want.
So you believe you are this leader?
And that is Peter Salaysia that we have. Look at this. These young people, like for example, mtu kumaliza shule anamaliza 5 years, right? Anamaliza 5 years, maybe ndiyo apate. Sasa hata mtu amemea sijui molecular biology, unapata sijui yeye sijui ni tena. Unapata mwingine sijui amefanya nini, amefanya hiyo ni nini. So we are lost. We are like lost in the jungle. And the more we don't have time as a nation, when I've been walking all around the country, I've been saying that if we miss it, like even 5 years from now, Kenya will be in a total place like in Nigeria where there are going to be so many people, but there are not going to be job opportunities.
So we've seen a couple of presidential aspirants. Eh?
Yes.
And you believe you are the better one amongst. Let's see the president now. Let's talk about other presidential aspirants. Let's look at what you can do better than them.
Yeah.
Let's talk Matiang'i.
Number one, let me tell you, I really wanted to refrain myself because they tell you that we have one common enemy that is one term, right? I'm just trying to come to before I come to speak to any other thing.
Okay.
Is that okay? And I really want to refrain myself. I really want to talk about my agenda.
A lot of refrainings you're doing.
Yes, and look, one of the things that has really, I was in a country called in South Africa to one time. When I was in South Africa, I know that in South Africa, people love Amapiano so much. And because they love Amapiano so much, they consume Amapiano, and to an extent that they are now exporting Amapiano. We have Amapiano Fest in Kenya, which is now also doing marvelous thing here in Kenya. Now I ask myself a question. These young people of Kenya, they love digital content things and whatever. And any successful person, like for example, my passion is to talk to the people. You must know what do your people in your country love. And that is where you're going to thrive from there. Everybody in Kenya right now is content creator, majority of the young people there. But now we must come up with ways. But now these people love this direction. You are talking about the Mujengo. Mwana anajiuliza mimi nienda university, nienda nikafanya diploma yangu, nienda nikafanya certificate yangu. Unaniambia niende Mjengo. They cannot accept. And that's why Peter Salaysia is coming on a plan. And these youth are now burdens to these leaders. But youth is a big potential that can really do marvelous in this country that has not been tapped on. Maybe I'll just try to talk one of the things that are more practical. That if we, as Peter Salaysia, this is how I'm going to solve this issue. Give me 2 minutes, I want to go through them very fast. Number one, and I have to be...
they are not on your fingertips.
No, I have them...
you have to read them.
I'm just talking about those, number one, we are talking about the digital creators, for example. And this one, maybe they can copy my manifesto, wala ambao wanaona mimi ndio mwenyewe kabisa. Number one, what we really need to do is to fund youth content.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to fund youth content hubs, create digital studios across the country where youth can produce music, videos. So